Kavanaugh's angry start, boofing doesn't mean fart, and Trump's little Mario Kart. Coming up today on The Point.
Those were all so great.
Qu'est-ce que tu vas me faire? Tu me fais pas peur. Plus de souper avec tes parents.
Hello and welcome to The Point, the only talk show bringing gay and straight men together to see what happens. And welcome to our season premiere, season 3. Three years of this bunch. How was everybody's summer?
Good.
Great.
Amazing.
Needed more beach.
I know that Jim had a big summer.
Did he get married again?
Did you break up? What happened?
You had a movie premiere.
I did.
Tell us about it.
Well, we shot this 2 years ago, and it finally came out just during TIFF, but at another film festival called the Toronto Independent Film Festival. And it's just basically, it's in the same sort of scope as, I think it's called Around Midnight or something, where the whole movie takes place within like the course of a day.
Oh, okay.
And so there are flashbacks to us breaking up. Like the movie starts with us breaking up on the Ferris wheel at the X, and then
The
flash
X,
forward.
which is the National Canadian Exhibition,
Yes,
which
so-
is known as
the
locally
X.
as the X.
And that's also the play on words.
and
for
also,
that.
you're right.
I get it.
I get it now.
Yeah, and
Is
then
this a feature?
It is. Yeah. It was like 70 minutes, I think. So
Wow.
it's a little short for a feature, but
Just squeak it in there.
Yeah, just squeaking in there for sure.
So is it going to be a wide release? Is it going to go to film festivals?
I think it's they've applied to like a bunch of film festivals. So we got into the first one that they applied for, which is amazing. So now it's about waiting to hear about these other ones.
Hopefully the X will play at a film festival near you. But you also had a big summer because you're on a billboard.
Yay!
Look at you.
I saw that. I thought it was racist to bring that up. I was like, I don't know it.
Yeah, he had to be sure.
Do you
I don't know.
furnaces?
Yeah. Well, you're in a commercial and you're in this billboard.
Yeah. So and finally they paid me for it. Thank God.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But
How
that's
does it
pretty
feel
big.
to like you're driving down or whatever? And
Well,
there's your-
it's friends have been sending it to me, and then one of my friends sent me a picture from Calgary. She's like, "You're Calgary billboard
Oh.
famous," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's a national
Can
thing."
you fix
so,
my furnace?
Not well. Yeah.
hashtag billboard famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not even the biggest news, actually. The biggest news, and you don't know this, is
I don't know this.
Jen and I are pregnant.
Congratulations.
Genuine moment here, everyone. Jim told all of us earlier, but
Yeah.
Fred just found out right
yeah.
now.
I didn't know either.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So when is the due date?
January.
January.
Yeah, it's coming up. So
Oh, you didn't waste any time.
No, not at all. Actually, when we went to the doctors to find out the conception date and everything, they were like, it happened around this date, and we're like, that is when we legally got married. So it was, yeah.
Yes.
Once we
Celebration,
signed on the
baby.
dotted line,
It's like a honeymoon baby.
yeah. The tadpoles went through.
Okay. Well, let's go from some consensual sex to some alleged non-consensual sex.
Nope.
That's a good segue.
Talking point.
Speaking of a loving family.
Talking point number 1: supreme accusations. Okay. So.
Can't. This is so triggering. Okay.
So triggering. Here we go.
Okay, so
Why?
that's U.S. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who had a hearing last week into allegations that he sexually assaulted one woman. There are 3 or 4 sexual assault
it's up to
accusations right
5.
now. But this hearing was about the allegations of Christine Blasey Ford, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, about a high school party at an elite prep school in the Washington, D.C. area, where he allegedly, in a drunken stupor, forced her into a bedroom with a friend and assaulted her, attempted to rape her. Now, as a caveat to this discussion, I realize that that we are all men. So I just wanted to be that I am aware of that.
We understand.
But
we don't actually, is the point.
But I think it's important. I mean, I think what's happened. I mean, I love this picture of him going, maybe I'll get on the court. Maybe. 50-50.
Okay.
It's really upsetting that it is a maybe and it's an uncertainty.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's important because I think, and I wish we had. I tried to get a woman to be on the panel today, but
Those lady people.
But I think it's important because men have to get this. Men have to understand this, and to watch. For me, to watch the hearing. There's a lot of men who don't understand this. You said it's triggering for you.
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
I think it's triggering for everybody, right?
Like because of a specific event, or just like
No,
generally the way that everyone.
I don't. It's not triggering any personal traumas, but I'm just saying it's like.
Okay, but as a viewer and as who do you believe?
It's just this whole conversation. Yeah, I believe Christine Ford, but it's just this whole. Obviously, like the analogousness is how analogous the situation is to every accusation that becomes public, to all that. It's just like the same cycle of disbelief and discreditation and blah blah blah. It's just seeing it repeat is just really depressing because you're like, oh, so things don't change like since Anita Hill, and it's like it's literally the same game. Yeah. You know, and I'm just like, how hard is it to believe that a frat boy raped someone? Like, it really is that difficult?
This whole image or milieu.
Milieu. With an UH at the end.
Some mustard on that.
Yeah. Milieu. So many. So many.
There was a word he said, I don't know. There's another one.
But that like elite prep school, like the white privileged straight
Question,
boy.
why is it only coming out now? Like, she just came forward now?
What
Let's just all agree that there's no good time to come out about your sexual
The
assault
stakes
allegations.
are so important
From like a
right
frat
now.
party to like now he's like how old? Is just like a
I think the biggest reason is because of the fact that he would swing the Supreme Court to a
overturn
very
abortion.
conservative, a number of judges that then could go forward with what is largely the Republican kind of thing, which is we're going to tell women what to do. We're going to tell them what to do with their bodies. We're going to say that they are not allowed to have abortions. We're going to say that they can't choose what to do that's best for their own reproductive health. And so this is the time that, it's a horrible event that she's had to live with. And I think a lot of victims of sexual assault should be able to come forward, but some don't feel comfortable coming forward. Maybe they try to get on with their life. They try to just sort of forget that it happened. Yeah. But this is a situation where she had the courage to come forward because the stakes are so high that this person cannot be allowed to come forward and not be heard from what this person is actually like and how they treat women, how they treat half the population of the planet.
Like during her statement, there was a picture of like just her sitting facing like everybody was like male. It was,
Well, every Republican on this committee is an old white male. Yeah.
They hired a female prosecutor
They always
to
do
come
that.
in to appear as if it's a woman asking these questions.
And how offensive is it? I'm sorry. How offensive? These Republicans kept referring to her as a female prosecutor. How about she's just a prosecutor?
Yeah.
100%.
Just as a side note, I said female prosecutor because I needed to indicate
No, I
in
know.
the story.
I know.
You're a terrible person.
Horrible.
I'm not.
There was.
There are men. I've been reading posts on Facebook from female friends, but male friends as well. I don't think this is just. Not to take this away from women who have experienced this, but men have experienced this. A lot of gay men have experienced this, and this. It is so. I've never experienced this, but how insulting would it be to tell somebody who is putting forward a story like this and to say to them, "Oh, why'd you wait so long?"
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Why don't you remember perfectly?
I'm sorry. If this happened to me when I was a kid,
I'll be working really hard to bury it somewhere that's really, really hard to dig
There's
out.
a lot of shame involved,
And she
right?
does remember it a lot better than he does. That's the point, because that's
Yeah.
what happens
Well,
when
this
traumatic
is-
experiences are brought on someone. It kind of solidifies those moments.
So
in
like
their
he wouldn't
brain.
remember anything because he likes beer.
Well, this is
God.
The New Yorker. Actually, there was an essay by this writer, Alexandra Schwartz, called "Brett Kavanaugh and the Adolescent Aggression of Conservative Masculinity," and I think that that's an important thing to note, because I think the way conservative men deal with these issues is different from liberal. And I don't mean liberal in like a party or ideological way. I'm just the way
Well, then
your
literally, what do you mean?
worldview
That is ideological.
okay, but the world sure. Okay,
definition.
fair. But the worldview of a conservative men look at people like Donald Trump, who still today see women in a derogatory way, or in a. I mean, you know that when he was a kid, he felt
Entitled.
Still
entitled
does.
to her, entitled to anything, and entitled to be on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, no one. Like,
I'm not sorry.
Lindsey,
I'm sorry.
Lindsey Graham,
Yeah.
Senator Lindsey Graham, screaming
Yeah.
to Brett Kavanaugh, "You have nothing to apologize for." How do you know?
Yeah.
It's because he wants them on there. They're all conservative,
Yeah.
and they don't want people to have abortions.
And Rosie O'Donnell called him a closeted idiot. But you mentioned the
love her.
beer. I mean, when asked about his drinking by Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island, where I used to live, he replied, "I like beer. You like beer? What do you like to drink, Senator?" This idea that, like, well, we all, you drink beer, I drink beer, you drink. What? And then there's all this stuff in the yearbook.
About him having
Yeah.
part of a 100 kegs or bust club.
Like,
Samantha
I'm
Bee
sorry,
was like,
how do you,
I'm sure it's not 100 kegs of platonic friendship.
Oh, duels.
how are we supposed to believe what he says about the big things when he lies about this? I mean, he was asked in the yearbook, it says something about boofing, which, and Senator Whitehouse says, so what is boofing? And he stutters and says, it's flatulence.
In my language, it
not.
kind of like the word kind of does mean that in Portuguese.
In Portuguese?
Well,
Well,
buffet in French just means to eat.
but look on Urban Dictionary. It means to ingest drugs or alcohol anally.
And
Oh,
he
wow, this is some
obviously
freaky
knows
shit.
what that meant
Okay, I
when
didn't
he
see
was
that
There's
one coming,
something about
honestly.
a devil's triangle in his yearbook. In his yearbook, I'm sorry, these things are not in my yearbook.
The devil's triangle is the same as like the wobbly H, the same as the.
The
You know what I mean?
Eiffel
Like,
Tower.
it's
The Eiffel
two
Tower.
guys
Threesome,
with
Street.
one woman.
He says-
the devil's three-way.
He says it's a
spit roast. It's just a spit roast.
he says it's a drinking game. He's obviously lying about this.
I would have asked, like, explain to me this drinking game. Like, how does this Devil's Triangle drinking game work?
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
need to know
sure
the
he
details.
couldn't do it in a way that's.
There was a tweet from an Instagram account that I follow called Gorilla Feminist, and she said, Brock Turners grow up to be Brett
Yes.
Kavanaughs that make the rules for Brock,
Brock
Turners.
Turners, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, sounds like a vicious rapey cycle.
It is.
God for the penis.
There
Well,
were
this
two
is-
other quick things. One of them was I also saw a tweet that said they're talking about how nobody didn't believe the victims of the Catholic Church abuses, but they always say, well, maybe she's lying. What the difference really is that they were boys, they were guys, they were males that were the victims. So of course it's true. You know, it's just this systemic problem.
Well, they're
in
also
society.
children.
They're also children. That's a little bit different.
Well, this
It's
feels
not
like
really all
that's a
that
little
different.
worse.
But the only
Yeah.
other thing is this guy who comes out with so much rage and has zero control over his aggression, even in a Senate committee hearing, is supposed to be impartial and take things
Cool as a
in
cucumber.
and not be emotional about issues and do the right
Sounds
thing
like you're being emotional.
as a
Ben.
judge for the rest of his life, for a lifetime appointment. Like, this is insanity.
And
Even
nobody
just
used
that.
the word hysterical
I was
to
gonna
describe
say,
him, right? Which
sounds
is
like
what
he's
you would
being
get if
hysterical.
it was a female being.
And he was being
had an
People
hysterical.
be like,
emotional
oh, you're being
meltdown.
hysterical. And it's like, no, that is like a female.
It reminds me of the
Reserved
coverage
for
of like
females.
Serena Williams' like
Yeah.
situation
Yeah.
where she had an emotional meltdown because I was just like, you know what?
Well, this was a new allegation that hasn't. I mean, it's not as awful as some of the other things, but I think some of us can relate to this. One of Brett Kavanaugh's college roommates has come forward to talk about not only his drinking problem, but how, and this was this guy was gay, the college roommate. That Kavanaugh nailed a dead pigeon to his door. Kit Winter is his name, an out gay man at Yale University in the early 80s, the same time that Kavanaugh was at Yale. They lived together in a 3-person suite with Winter in a single room, and Kavanaugh shared a double room with blah, blah, blah. It describes Kavanaugh as an aggressive and belligerent drunk and loud, obnoxious frat boy. There was always vomit in the bathroom. No one ever cleaned it up. But this, one of the things was that he nailed a dead pigeon to the guy's door as like an anti-gay thing.
What is a pigeon?
It's an intimidation crime.
I mean, it's just intimidation.
But also, I mean, like, kind of what a lot of serial killers start doing when they're very young.
But
like,
I mean, this is not sexual assault, but this kind of bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who I would do this to anyone.
Not a dead pigeon, but when I was in college, was in university, I suffered harassment in the dorm. Even though I wasn't out at the time, it was anti-gay harassment from people who lived on my floor. And I know that kind of jock, white, straight, entitled guy who does stuff like that. So I totally believe that he could do this to her.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like an outrageous allegation. I'm like, yeah,
No.
he's like a
I mean, the other thing,
partying. What's that
first of
called?
all, I mean, I believe her anyway because she has nothing to gain. Like, there's no reason to not believe her, regardless of anything to do with him. But unless there's sort of like videotape of him from that time exactly when it's supposed to happen, like unless you have irrefutable proof that he was
Beyond
somewhere
reasonable
else,
doubt.
then there's no reason to not believe her in the first place.
His calendar. So, yeah, okay.
But
So
at the
we
same
gotta-
time, here's the thing: even if everybody if everybody believes her, and if there is evidence against him, who's to say he still doesn't get in?
Oh, they're all gonna vote him.
That's the problem.
Right?
Well, but
President.
that's we just have to see how that goes.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that, I mean, I lightened things up a little bit, but there's still the case of Stormy Daniels against Trump. And
He's my favorite character. Why are you gonna
in
ruin
her
it?
upcoming
She ruined
book
it.
called Full Disclosure, in an excerpt, she describes Trump's penis. Quote, "He knows he has an unusual penis. It has a large mushroom head, like a toadstool. I lay there, annoyed that I was getting fucked by a guy with Yeti pubes. And a dick like the mushroom character in Mario Kart. It may have been the least impressive sex I'd ever had, but clearly he didn't share that opinion."
He
Thank you,
loved
Stormy,
it. He thought
for
he
that,
was the greatest in bed. Oh my gosh.
I imagine that even though he is like still kind of denying that this happened, that something like that would trigger him into responding on Twitter saying, I gave you the best sex ever, and that would.
I have
just
the
destroy him.
mushroomiest penis
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
There is no penis that is more mushroomy than mine.
Yeah.
Or he goes against it. He's like, I don't have a giant mushroom head. I don't even have a head on my penis. It is so small. Wait, hold on. I've lost a thread here, everybody.
Okay, I can't. Now it's time for Tito's midpoint.
He needs to leak his dick pic. All right, so our first midpoint of the season is going to be On Point, which is fashion from the Emmys, because I know you guys love that fashion.
Where's our paddles?
They're over here.
Season 3, they're going to be virtually put in.
All right, let's begin. You got it ready?
Yeah, I have it ready.
So we are going to start off with Mandy Moore.
On point.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Great.
Stunning, gorgeous.
She is her own award statuette.
Does the bottom
Does
move?
the bottom have good
A
dress
little
movement?
bit.
I hate it when the bottom moves too much.
Let's move on.
Also, are her legs crossed in this picture?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's,
I was like, that was weird, small toes.
Gotta make sure those hips look good, right? Is that what that pose is?
Sandra, oh my god.
Sandra Oh,
I'm
she
a big fan
was.
of the hair, but the outfit's great.
FYI, she went to the National Theatre School in Montreal.
Oh. I know she's Canadian.
Have you watched Killing Eve?
So good.
No,
It is so good.
Yeah.
You should
It's
watch
like
it. That's what
take-
she was
take-
nominated for. So.
I'm so excited for her. Next, we have Gwendolyn Christie.
I'm not a huge fan of yellow.
Terrible. Look.
I don't like it, and she needs to like steam it. I'm like, it's wrinkles.
She needs to steam it.
It's wrinkles.
Steam those wrinkles and change that lip color. It's way too dark. And
See, I like the lip
She's just,
color, but
I don't. It's yellow is hard to pull off.
Yeah.
It's the toughest, like to pull off with skin tones. So when you're that white, I feel like you need to.
I don't know, the
like, you're
extra
going on a
bits
red
that are
horse.
hard. I don't know that I think it might be stronger without those.
Without what?
Without like the extra bits on the arms. I think that might work a little
yeah.
better.
I think it's the wrong color for her.
You look like a
curtain. Like no. Oh my god, I love her so much.
Next, Tracy Ellis Ross.
It's a little too much.
It's a little much. I'm gonna be on the middle in this.
It's no.
I don't know.
Can I be on the middle?
It looks
Can
like
I be
a
on the
wrinkled like duvet. She's
It
just.
looks like
yeah.
She hopped out of bed.
Her bed. and
I kind of think she can do no wrong. She's just fabulous.
You can always do wrong, girl.
Okay, but okay.
Darren Criss, he won an Emmy
God,
for his.
I like
love
this.
I think it could go without.
Oh my
these-
God, he looks
Without
so
the mud
good.
stains.
Yeah, it's a nice
Very
suit
nice.
to begin.
Yeah,
with.
without the mud stains, it would be even nicer.
I
but
like the mud stains.
but I think it works. I think it's like
I'm not a big
you know.
fan of that suit.
Next.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
She's
Love
she's one of
that.
my favorite
Allison
actresses.
Janney.
Janie?
Janney.
Okay.
I always love a
Laurel.
leg.
Okay.
A leg out.
She looks
goes a long way.
great.
Yeah.
Stunning.
She's phenomenal.
That leg though. Next
Oh,
we have
I like
Tiffany
this.
Haddish, which
I
is
like
like
this.
white
Is that
It's a
women.
little deflated hot air
It's a
balloon.
lot, but I like it.
Just
It's-
another pride flag dress. I'm over it.
Oh, I like
It's a
it.
circus tent.
Yes. It does look like a circus tent.
I said,
Maybe if the
I said
bottom was a
deflated
little
hot air
tighter.
balloon.
I
But
mean,
I
to
still
her
like
credit, she's a comedian. She's outrageous.
Am I
so-
the only one? I'm the
Yeah.
only
Maybe
on
this
point for
works.
this?
Maybe this
No,
works.
she's
Okay. Can I
had like some
convince
really
that
good
you're
looks,
on my
but
team
this
now?
is not great.
Yeah, you're on point.
Yeah.
I'm on
Next
Alright.
we have
Damn.
Samira Wiley.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
All about that sparkle.
Got a bit of sparkle.
She's so great.
Yeah.
Great
She died
earrings, too.
on Orange is the New Black
What?
to Live on.
Spoiler alert.
This is how you're telling us that she's dead?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Right after
She
the
looked good
Emmys.
when they're.
Next we have A Horrible Soup by
Oh, I
Chris
like it.
Sullivan.
No, I don't know. It's too.
You know what this
I
looks
think he
like?
looks good.
This looks like when Will
Terrible.
Smith turns his school uniform inside out on Fresh Prince, but it's the
Wearing,
whole
like,
thing.
An ugly upholstered chair.
No, I
Yeah.
think he looks
I don't like
good.
it.
I think he looks.
I don't like
I've been to
fancy.
way
I
too
don't
many
like it.
houses where this was the fabric of the chair they uphold.
I like the tie and the black shirt.
He's wearing
that's good.
eyeliner too.
I think it looks good
like
on
it.
him. I think
Yeah.
it looks really good on him.
Guys don't get to like do stuff at the award shows.
No.
Do you rock
Next,
it?
Sarah Paulson, Slaying.
I don't like that either.
Oh, it's
Stunning.
gross.
What?
Gross.
She looks like.
Perfection.
I'll give it.
She looks like the black swan threw up on the white swan.
Yeah.
Eyebrow game though.
Yeah, lip color, all of that. The
it's
makeup
stunning.
is
It's all
phenomenal.
perfect.
The
I
earrings
like
are great.
Whatever.
Moving on.
You guys. Last but not least, Sarah Dern. Terrible.
Laura Dern.
What did you say?
What did I say? Lara Dern?
Sarah Dern?
Sarah. Laura.
I don't like this.
Laura Dern.
No, it's a big no.
It's a corset on top of a silk
You know,
shirt.
It's too many things at the same time.
It's like,
I think it's that context. I
And
think
the
walking
zipper
around the
and,
event,
like-
it would be cool.
ankle cut. I can't.
No,
it's
I
terrible.
can't.
It's like parts of it are underwear and parts of it are like.
I'd
normal
also like to
clothes.
see that
don't know why
with
she would ever
like
put this on.
sleeveless.
Not great.
Yeah, maybe that. Otherwise, it
great.
just looks.
I'm just gonna put-
matronly.
That's
back.
perfect.
That's better.
That's
and thank you,
perfection.
Tito, for today's midpoint.
Yay.
I love how you started the show off with like, I know that we're a panel of men, and then we do a midpoint where we just judge women.
There are men in there.
I thought of that.
It's fine.
And now it's time for talking point number 2. Summer penis.
What?
We all have them.
Just wait for it.
Also known as. Sweet.
Okay.
We all use them
Some
this
are
summer.
penises?
No, summer penis.
Does it mean they're like
Now
really,
we're in fall.
Yep.
Is it like
which
really hot and
means-
sweaty penis?
This means
Summer penis, fall balls.
Spring.
Okay. According to Dudley Danoff,
Oh, come on. Come on. His parents named him that?
a urologist writing in the Ultimate Guide to Male Sexual Health, summer penis is real. So what he's saying
What?
is that basically your dick gets harder or bigger when it's hard in summer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Than it gets when it's hard in winter.
It gets bigger when it's hard, just generally.
No,
That's
in
how
summer,
it works.
like you're when you're not hard,
because
it's the same
things
all year long.
expand in heat.
But-
That's how that
Right.
works.
I mean, basically,
So it's
Also,
like a
you're talking about,
9
like,
in the
blood
summer and an
flow.
8 in the winter.
well, it's probably more like an 8,
0.1 and 8.1.5.
something more like that.
Okay.
Something that drastic. Holy crap.
In ideal conditions, in a
Hold
warm
on, what,
environment, and with appropriate stimulation, assuming arterial factors are in order, warm weather will help you achieve maximum filling. So when in winter,
I'm
you can't
uncomfortable.
achieve
I'm just thinking like
maximum
cake.
filling. Not like cream
Stop
filling
saying
a
it like
donut.
that. Stop saying it like that.
Yeah.
With the hand. Maximum.
Maximum filling.
Like this.
I enjoy maximum filling. So is this
It's
real?
your porn name.
Maximum filling.
It's your porn name, maximum filling.
Maximum filling. Hashtag maximum filling.
So it's like a natural penis pump.
Yes, warmer weather.
Summer is a penis
You are
pump.
bigger in the summer than you are in winter.
I think
Do
the
you think it's true?
phenomenon should be called summer semis.
No, summer is bigger.
Yeah, but like it's more
You're just trying to give it a
plump.
I
better
know you're trying to go for the alliteration,
Yeah.
but I don't know that
It's
it's
not
gonna work.
working?
I don't
It
know.
would be like summer sword.
Summer sword or.
But
how much bigger? How much
Winter
bigger?
dagger? Is that what's happening?
It doesn't say. I'm just asking, do you find that your dick is bigger in the summer?
Well, it's more relaxed all the
It's-
time.
You'll have to ask the people who took it.
Damn. Tito's like, this is how it looks.
Is it though maybe that this guy is just like it's May and he's trying to convince people to hook up with him and he's getting into the summer season. He's like,
You know why they
it
call
gets
me-
bigger in the summer. All right.
Dr. Danoff.
So someone on Twitter responded to this story.
I love Twitter
Said,
comments.
I
no graphic
explained
for
to
this.
my wife the penises have seasons too. She was wondering why it looked bigger. I told her it's summer penis.
It's summer penis.
Wow.
If
He
you're
put his-
doing measurements outdoors,
That's what I was gonna
then,
say. Like,
then that
like
would be
what?
understandable because in the winter,
Aren't you
it's
guys
gonna be
Have
pretty
you guys
cold.
ever tried biking in January? No. I swear to God.
Is that a sexual position?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like when you're literally
Actually.
biking, because you do like
It literally
your
does.
extremities remain cold because of the wind, but like all of your like heat points, like your armpits and your groin, they just get warmer and sweatier, right?
Yep.
And then when you stop biking, you stop the exercise, your your sweat immediately becomes super cold, and that's when
Yes.
everything goes. And then you're just like, okay, I guess I can. Now's the time to do drag if I want to do it. It's just like, where are things? So yeah. If someone told me that I needed to get hard right now, like during that moment, I'd be like,
So,
Do
like,
it right now.
Don't hook up after. Like, right?
too far.
Oh,
too
you
far.
guys are missing. You can't see this.
I get-
Patreon tier.
I guess that means we're heading toward
Tiny
smaller-
dicks.
It's tiny dick season.
Great.
Small fall.
Small fall. Hashtag
I knew I'd
small
find it.
fall.
Go.
Tito,
Winter
please.
weenies.
Bop of the week.
Bop of the week is Dua Lipa. She's back with a
course
new
it is.
song. It's called.
Of course it's Dua Lipa. You
Want
always
to.
like 50% of your bops are Dua Lipa.
No, she just featured on a lot of good shit. But she hasn't really released her own new stuff in a really, really long time, and this is her new single called Want To.
Want to have a summer penis.
You're gonna have to listen and find out. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I'll give it all away.
It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
it depends on how big the cliff is hanging.
Yeah, and what season it is. Yeah.
It's a hung cliff.
If you're watching us on YouTube, which of course you are, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Push the red button, costs you nothing, helps us greatly. If you really want to help us out, go to our crowdfunding site, patreon.com/thepointguys. We're also available as an audio podcast on iTunes. Check us out there. Our email address is thepointguys@gmail.com. Our website is thepointguys.net. You can also follow and comment on Instagram and Twitter @thepointguys.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Tito's going to be checking his fall balls after we wrap. We have a new show every Tuesday. So we will see you next Tuesday on The Point.
On the point.
Have you ever